Welcome back. For this AP calculus problem, we have y is equal to x minus 3 over 2 minus 5x, and they want us to find dy dx. So we just need to take the derivative of this equation, but before we do that, let's go ahead and rewrite it so it's easier to apply the product rule. I actually prefer using the product rule even in situations where you can use the quotient rule, just because it's less for me to memorize and I'm not a huge fan of memorizing. So we can rewrite this as x minus 3 times 2 minus 5x to the negative first power, because it's in the denominator. So when we take the derivative, we have dy dx, and we're going to take the first, hold the second, plus hold the first, take the second. So we'll take the first, derivative of x minus 3, that's just 1, and then we hold the first. But I will put it on the bottom. I'll write it this way so we can combine the terms later. So 5 minus x to the first, and then I'll leave some space here, and I'll say plus, hold the first, which is x minus 3, and then take the second. So bring the power out in front so that negative 1 comes out in front, which is negative 1. It should be a 1, not a parentheses. Negative 1. And then you lower the power by 1, so that becomes negative 2. So I'm going to put that on the bottom. Actually, let's get a straight line in there. So we will get 2 minus 5x to the second power on the bottom, because this is negative 2, which puts it on the bottom. But we have to also apply the chain rule, so this is derivative of what's inside ends up being negative 5, so we put that out here, negative 5. And then now we want to combine these two giant terms. So to do that, we're going to multiply this by 2 minus 5x, and then 2 minus 5x. And if you did the quotient rule, it essentially does this portion for you, but again, I'm not a huge fan of memorizing, so I don't really bother with the quotient rule that much. So we go to the next step, and we can say 2 minus 5x, because now that we have the same denominator on both, we can just combine everything. And these two signs make each other positive. So then really you just have a 5 that you have to distribute through the x minus 3, so you get plus 5x minus 15. And then this is all over 2 minus 5x quantity squared. So then we can just combine all our terms, so you can see this negative 5x and positive 5x cross off, and you're left with a negative 13 on top. And then in the denominator, we still have 2 minus 5x quantity squared.